if you make it succeed, no one's going to be mad that it was like outside of your scope. But if you do, there is a risk that it does not succeed, and then you wasted 6 months building something that didn't work, and then that may reflect poorly. But I think life's about taking the risks, and that's what makes it exciting.
I love it, man. That's beautiful. Life is about taking the risks. And then you kind of mentioned, hey, cover your ground a bit. Ask senior leadership, ask your manager, is this something I should be working on? Is this something I should prioritize? And if so, should I build it? I made a kind of podcast episode about having one on ones with your manager and how you should break down whether or not telling them what you're working on, which is priority, and do you need help with things? Should I innovate? Should I build something to kind of assist with it? So I love kind of how you bring that up. Really just try and search for innovation, but also make sure it's clear to senior management and your leadership, especially if you're going to take 6 months to build it, man. That's a lot of, that's $250,000 for an engineer, right? So that's a lot of money. But yeah, so last question about Netflix. You were there for quite some time, I think about 3 years, you said.
Mhm.
Any advice for our viewers on how to do well at a big tech company? Because you got a lot of performance reviews each of those 3 years. What advice do you have for our viewers to excel and do well during their time frame at big tech?
Yeah, definitely. There's some useful tips I actually learned at UCLA in the current class I'm taking. So I'm
Yeah,
taking this class and it's talking about, how do you build your power within a company? And at first it's like, oh, ew, power. This is for,
yeah,
people
ew,
who,
especially in
all
the valley.
corporate,
Yeah,
politics. But the professor actually said, if you're not actually, if you're not actively working on your own power, then someone else isn't going to get power over you and make your life miserable. So you should work on your own power because that allows you to at least help the people you want to help.
that's
Um,
awesome. Continue, continue.
yeah, so like ways you can build your own power, like, there's the more obvious ones, like just be good at what you do, expertise. Um, Another surprising one is just being likable at the company. So there's things you can do to be likable, like remember people's names, smile, say hello. Those can go a long way. And then there's other ones such as working on something visible or working on something that has a lot of impact that affects people. If you're working on like an unknown tool and that no one touches, you have less power. Um, so it's kind of like figuring out ways where you can increase your power. And then one of the best ways is empowering others. If you help someone else, like a junior engineer, get promoted, they're gonna they're always gonna have your back because they'll remember that.
Oh, Ben, that was awesome, man. That's such a great answer. I completely agree with everything you said with regards to kind of exonerating and showing your power, right? I remember at Google, we had someone go from L4 to L6 in like a year and a half, which is really fast, right? And they did exactly what you did, which is show you kind of flex your power, right? One, they're very likable. Two, they really marketed themselves and showed off their projects, their programs. And three, they're just very, very good at their job, right? So they hit all three of these buckets that you're kind of talking about, and they were able to get promoted so fast. And that's kind of like what you're kind of showing how you did so well at Netflix. So I appreciate you kind of talking about that.